Well, once upon a time, Zynga got a halo from being associated with Facebook. Now, not so much. But first, why Groupon's got to grow up and why the CEO is saying that as he swills beer. We have Shayndi Raice of the Wall Street Journal joining us from San Francisco. Now, thank you very much, Shayndi, for being here. I love this. Chug a few beers and then tell everyone to grow up.
Yeah, he had a town hall meeting for employees, which apparently happens pretty regularly. And he had the head of international affairs there with him. And I guess that, you know, they have some 12,000 employees all over the world. This was in their Chicago headquarters, and everyone had the option of beer, but Andrew Mason, the CEO, was the only one sitting up there on webcast, which is how we saw this, this private meeting. And he was drinking a beer and explaining to employees that one of his top 5 priorities for the future is to really fix a lot of their financial control problems. And he talked a lot about how they're a toddler in a grown man's body and they need to grow up, but obviously still sort of trying to set a culture of youth.
Yeah, we're a toddler in a grown man's body in many ways, and that, I mean, that's a great quote. But specifically, it's very important for a public company like Groupon that doesn't want to, you know, get in trouble with the SEC, and they have done. That's got to be part of this, hasn't it? Is that what's prompting this?
Yeah, absolutely, and he addressed that directly. I don't know whether he's addressed the issue before in town halls, but he certainly addressed this at length. And he talked about 5 initiatives that Groupon has moving forward for the next year, and one of the top initiatives is to really fix a lot of the problems that they have in terms of financial controls. Just, you know, a few weeks ago, Groupon had to reveal that they had been miscalculating their revenue based on the number of refunds. They had more people returning Groupons than they had expected. And what that, yeah.
Is that what he meant by we must avoid, quote, stupid risks?
To some extent, yes, that's exactly what he meant. What he was saying is that at the expense of strong financial controls, they've been trying to grow very fast and move very quickly, and they haven't been as careful as they should about sort of making sure that they have all the right controls and auditors in place to ensure that they are actually reporting numbers the way they should be reporting numbers. And he admitted that and said that essentially what they really need to do is focus on doing things right and maybe going a little bit slower at the expense of just fast growth.
So do you think, I mean, obviously, ultimately that comes down to him. He's the CEO, he's in charge. I mean, it's his responsibility to make sure that happens. If he can't get it done, if they can't grow up, does he go?
That's a big question that I think everybody is sort of asking and looking for any signs that he's on the way out. I haven't found any, and as soon as I do, will publish it. But as of now, there's no sign that he's going to go. They are trying, obviously, to fix things because this has just been one embarrassment after the other for them. And I think another thing that he said in the meeting is that, you know, it's just not worth it anymore, that they just can't afford to continue to have these embarrassing situations, even though, you know, to some extent he felt that it was valid that things like this happen because they're a young company and they're growing so quickly. But I think he also feels like it's time for them to really, you know, stop that and move on. Of course, at the same time that he said that, he was sitting there in a pair of jeans, you know, drinking his beer too quickly. So you send probably some mixed messages, but, you know, he did only have 1 beer, so.
Well, hey, 1 beer. Depends on the size of the beer, of course. Thank you very much, Shayndi Raice of the Wall Street Journal. You can check out more on that story on WSJ.com.